all the stuff we came here to see, my friends.
Here we go. Freddybabes versus Nujwk. Great Britain versus the Kingdom of Spain.
We're going to take a look at the bans here now. Once again, we've seen some really diverse lists, and different bans here. Dagon getting banned in this situation from Nujwk.
Interesting.
And King Full Test on the other side for Freddy. So I think Freddy must have a plan here. Full Test is an interesting ban when you leave things up like Croc on Crate and Calvet in general.
I'm happy to see Croc on Crate and passing through the ban right there, because this is not your standard greatsword list. This is not your standard veteran list. I don't even know what to call this, but I can tell you something. It has Ragnarok and Karatha Heatwave. Double gold weather, folks, alongside Burn a Brand. Freddybabes is bringing the storm with this lineup. Pun intended, as he has weather in every single one of his decks and multiple sources of that. Plus, you know, a card that he's brought in the past that I'm pretty sure a lot of you are excited to see. Let's take a look at the deck. As we see right there, you guys see that John Calvet deck. Lambert is back, baby.
Oh my goodness, this is such a Freddybabes throwback card.
The deckness is strong within this one.
This is not the first time Freddy has brought Lambert to a Gwent Open, so this is not the first time we've seen it, but it's interesting because Lambert arguably has more application today than ever before, because Nilfgaard Soldiers is a threat. It's a very strong Nilfgaard deck, one of the three major Nilfgaard lists that you could possibly bring, so at least it lines up with that. But you have your Witch Hunters, you have Blue Stripe Scouts or Commandos, let's say. I mean, you can plan around a lot of stuff, where Lambert, really, it's Shoop is obviously the one situation where, outside of a Dwarven Agitator situation, you're not going to get at least 16 points from him. So it's an interesting pick, but I mean, for Calvet, I mean, you give up that gold slot.
I think, you know, I'm excited that he took that decision. Let's take a look at the Croc on Crate list. You guys can see there, it has both Ragnarok and Karatha Heatwave alongside Burn a Brand for weather generation.
Oh,
and we see the rest of the deck is pretty much quite similar to what we saw from Tailbot. A control Croc list, which is actually really strong. I believe Ornamental Sword is also a rather intriguing option. I wonder what his reasoning is behind that one, but it's going to be very key, because as we move over to Nujwk's lineup, he does not deal with weather well at all. It's like Spain when you get rain there. It
stays mainly on the plane, right? It stays mainly on the plane, but in this case, it's going to definitely remain on the plane, because Nujwk is not really prepared for weather. Freddy coming in with weather, at least of which has Shoop Ida, but the most of which has the double gold weather. Man, the more things change, the more they stay the same.
As you guys
Circular
can see,
motion.
As you guys can see here, like there's absolutely no weather clear whatsoever in his Alchemy Nilfgaard deck. In his Croc on Crate list, there is also no weather clear at all. So
the writing's on the wall.
Hits, it just is there to stay.
We're definitely going to have to. It's really going to be about Nujwk's flexibility in these situations.
Yes.
I mean,
he has a challenge in front of him. Like, if he wants to make the ultimate statement here, defeating Freddybabes under these conditions is going to be quite the accomplishment. I'm very, very excited to see Nujwk go at it. He seemed very confident prior to this tournament. I got a different vibe from him.
He looks confident.
Yeah, he looks better. Like the last time he was kind of really tense. You could tell, he's breathing heavily, but now he's chill. He's chill as hell.
Freddy, kind of remembering what that throne might feel like. He's putting himself in a zone that he hasn't been in a couple of months here. So, but I think Freddybabes in the deck builder has definitely got Nujwk going to be climbing upstream. You might say at least Nujwk at least has Ida in Shoop. But I mean, Alchemy already suffers under weather in the first place.
Here we go, folks. Game one, the third quarterfinal of the day. Freddybabes. Hashtag Babes for Babes versus Nujwk.
We know you're out there.
Go Spain.
Hashtag Go Spain.
Please, some love for my country. Thank you.
We're getting things started off right away with Freddybabes' Ultra Gold Weather, Super Weather, Destroy Every Row and Make You Cry Whaler list that is currently holding no golds. And
pretty underwhelming hand for Freddy right there. Like the blacklisting is also a little bit awkward with triple Warship in hand. That really just
no golds at all.
Oh boy,
yeah, Freddy just giving us a little review here.
That's caca. That's not good.
I mean, there's still a lot you can do. I mean, the thing about the I guess you'd say, this is a variation on what's kind of grown to be known as Control Croc, or the Warship variant with the movement based in the Whalers. Definitely not running the double gold weather familiarly, at least not in my encounters, that definitely takes a different spin on it and definitely seeks to exploit the meta that Freddy's been observing from his tower, right? As the Gwent Challenger 2 champion, he's been taking notes, and he thinks weather's a good play here because all of his decks are focusing on it. But this hand here, I mean, you have the triple pirate captain. You play the pirate first, obviously, to get them thinned out of the deck. But from there, I mean, with the warships and the Corsair, you only have one warship you can pull with the captain. This hand is not great. In fact, Freddy might be just seeking to fix it right away.
I think a dry pass is definitely justified here.
Yeah, he needs to find some weather, some row effect for his whalers, anything.
It is important to note that this is the one matchup in which Nujwk actually has access to weather clear. We see Idamian there, or as I like to call her, Idamian. And he gets the carryover player with Arca support here. Very nice onto the Elven Swordmaster. But yeah, Ida is his way to clear weather, and on top of that, he also has Decoy in his hand. So he has 2 sources for weather clear, which is definitely very important considering, okay, there's one. He drew into one. There's a Ragnarok.
And then he's going to try to go, I guess, for the best blacklist value, but you don't really want to keep 2 Corsairs in this situation. But you don't want to risk, you don't want to mulligan into a pirate. So maybe with the Clan Dimoon Pirate Captain, you probably just you pitch the pirate and pull it with the captain. Well, I mean, he didn't get hurt so bad with that, but I mean, having 3 Corsairs in a hand where you don't have round control is it's brutal. He only has the one Ragnarok, which is going to get cleared by Nujwk. I mean, Nujwk might find a way through here. But arguably, you could say that this is Nujwk's best deck against weather in the first place. Yes. So him getting a win here, I mean, a win's a win, a loss is a loss. Not that we're writing off Fred. Please don't get me wrong.
Apt analysis.
I am not. Yes, apt. I mean, I really summed it all up, I think, in that one sentence. Yeah. But I just want to be
what it all comes out to.
Super clear. I am not writing off Freddybabes in any respect, but I'm just saying that in this situation, Freddy's hand is not really well equipped, and the ways that he's able to really hurt Nujwk is not available to him, and also clearable by Nujwk here as well. I think Freddybabes is not even that upset to see this.
Gwent.
But then again,
the Witcher 3 round game.
The Witcher, it's true. I mean, the Corsairs are not good. The open pass is strong here because all the Corsairs become terrible if there's nothing in the graveyard for them to pull back. And I mean, between the Pirate Captains not having anything, it's kind of a weird, this definitely got weird, I think.
Freddybabes really focused there. I think you opt to just drop the Pirate Captain here. Like, you need the thinning.
Yeah, I mean,
the problem you also need the Corsairs. Like,
Freddy is.
This is bad. This is so bad.
So he is at least going to enable one Corsair, but he risks drawing into the pirate.
This is a mulligan from hell right here, ladies and gentlemen. This is awful.
And the second game we've seen
he has a heart of cards
bad
to go his way here.
After
oh
Tailbots
my lord.
consume no necker draw game. Didn't think that we'd see potentially a worse drawn game.
Oh, he does. Ooh.
Double gold weather, so.
You have to risk it, though. You have to risk the biscuit. You have to go for this.
Well,
okay. It could have been so much worse.
Things have changed radically now because he has a follow-up to the clear. He has Corsair active. He has the thinning from the Pirate Captains and the draw from Uldurik, which will obviously work very well with the weather, as early as you can get it.
This is one of the things about watching Freddy compete. You can see the focus. Like, this is not something that you witness when he's streaming. When he's streaming, he's more laid back. He's just chill, having fun, playing all sorts of stupid stuff, like, and just doing his thing. But when he's in the middle of an official Gwent event, he goes full on, and he is scary.
Yeah.
His concentration, the way he visions the game, his resource management, and I think his strongest trait is thinking ahead. He is. I saw the first time I saw this in true display was when he faced Life Coach in Challenger 2. It was amazing. He is
even considering
one of the best players out there.
And he wasn't even feeling very well that weekend as well.
Yeah, exactly. He almost forfeited.
In spite of a little bit of a little illness that was traveling around the castle, Freddybabes still managed to stay in it, take down some very, very difficult opponents in Life Coach and Koloman as well. As Freddy is also one of the things that you said, he's so good at planning ahead. And Freddy's skill really allows him to bring more creative decks to tournaments. I mean, you saw in Challenger 3, which is the last time we saw Freddybabes in the throne, he brought a very interesting Dagon deck, consume-based with the Harpies and Arcus Behemoth, like a tempo consume, as opposed to a Necker consume. And we've seen like some very weird Radovid beer lists in the past too.
For me, the highlight was Challenger 2 from Freddy. Not just because he won, but how he did it. everybody and their mothers thought that Spy Nilfgaard was untechable, unbeatable, and just straight up the best deck. And Freddy teched against it, and he was able to isolate it out and win against it consistently. And that is what crowned him as a challenger to champion. He did something that many thought was not possible at that point in Gwent. And I've just been super impressed by this player ever since. Nujwk, though, does have a really solid hand. And like I said, that Ida and the decoy are his answers for the weather. The thing is, Freddy can deny the decoy onto Ida with a warship. The warship will one hit or 4-hit KO the Ida. So will Freddy anticipate that?
I mean, at what point does he drop the weather? Yeah, exactly. At what point is he going to drop the weather to start that play? Start that script just being dictated here by Mogwai, which is very realistic. Between the weather movement and being able to place Udalryk as well, you can make a case just to wait a little bit longer, but the longer you wait, the harder it is to really get that value, especially if Nujwk finds a way to play Ida a couple turns after the weather being played so he can get like a maximum boost as well. He could potentially play larger units onto the row where Ragnarok is, or alternatively smaller units to get damaged by the Karathi Heatwave, just so he's able to get a little bit of extra value on the heel before the second weather comes down. Which leads me to believe that Freddy would open with Karathi Heatwave instead of Ragnarok for that reason. Just because of the control, it's harder when the lowest unit is getting hurt. Now Nujwk also has a little bit of movement himself here, especially with the decoy and the mercenary on board, but I think at this point it could be Karathi Heatwave, but it could also be Udalryk. He also has
Brightead Brigade. Like, Nujwk has all the answers for weather here. This is looking
Brightead Brigade
really
also, yeah. I mean, if he's not able to find Berna with Udalryk, I mean, the thing is, even though Freddy had a really awkward draw and we went right to round 3, Freddy still only has 8 cards in his hand. His deck. And more thinning is available through Croc as well. Freddy in total focus mode, and mood.
Mood and mode, for sure. Okay, he's hovering over the. I think he's gonna time the gold weather now. We'll see. It is a bit hard to predict, Freddy.
Yeah, I think it's Heatwave or Udalryk, I think here. Udalryk, at least, if it discards the Whaler, at least you activate the second Corsair, so it's not the worst thing. And I mean, considering.
Oh, that's pretty.
What?
Okay. What is?
Not. I mean, as far as Skjal was not good either, right? Skjal's. Let me just double check the deck list, but I think
actually pretty bad.
It's not good. Yeah, considering. I mean, there is still a Dimoon Pirate Dimoon Pirate in the graveyard, so Sigdrifa is at worst a 14-point play, which is, not bad for.
You gotta try avoiding that though, especially when. Well, no. Shiru is efficiently, like, at least for now, he's blocked by the Udalryk. Nujwk with a solid 17-point lead here. He does lose last save, but I don't think that's true relevant in this current matchup.
Man, the brutal thing about Freddybabes' list is, unlike many of these lists today, Freddybabes is running 3 of every bronze, which means that he only had 5 potential things to blacklist as far as bronzes, and he should have had the most favorable mulligans out of most of these decks.
Yeah.
Because you don't have singles coming in, single 1-ofs or 2-ofs after you blacklist. So the fact that he drew his initial 10 cards really changed, like, his deck is all good stuff, right? What's left in the deck right now, Heim, Burn a Brand, Restore, the Ornamental Sword, which, say what you want, at least it's going to get you like a good amount of value because of that strengthening effect. Plus, the strengthening effect makes Sigdrifa better. I'm starting to kind of see, like, you play a strengthened soldier and then Sigdrifa can get double value out of that, I think. It's also possible that with this list, he honestly believed he had a free silver slot and wants to make things spicier than we might expect. But, it's all good stuff, right? So he would love to get access to just any of those 6 cards. I think it might be Karathi Heatwave time. He's got the rows set up.
Decoy's out of the question as well, so he doesn't even have to, like, sequence the warship afterwards.
That is pretty good.
And I mean, you have to go for the weather at one point. Like, you have to go for it. Yep. He's gonna make it. He's gonna make it the opposite of rain. He's gonna take all the water away.
Poetic, Mo. Poetic.
I know. I'm just.
Freddybabes, the man who takes the water away. Now, at this point, Nujwk, instead of playing Ragnarok here, which could potentially create more value for Ida, Nujwk's probably thinking, slam dunk, right? Get rid of this weather. But he's also probably thinking, where there's drought, there's fire at the same time.
Exactly.
So, it's just, Karathi Heatwave is always an eyebrow raiser for me because it's, it seems like it's always going to be coming with something else.
The time of the white frost and white light is nigh.
And now he's gonna make it rain big meatballs. Or
The thing is, like,
balls.
where
Rock
is he
balls.
going to clear the row as well? Oh, he's going to delete it.
Oh.
Now, with decoy already gone, what was the precaution there from Freddybabes? Why would he use the Mandrake there if decoys? I'm trying to think just off the top of my head if I'm missing an obvious one.
Shoop can
Shoop can decoy with the hunter.
Shoop
Hunter can
yes.
decoy.
He's playing around Shoop Hunter.
Hey, we got
He does
there,
not, Nujwk does not have Shoop in hand. Oh my God! The next level plays by Freddy here, denying any sort of potential answer.
Yeah.
Even though Shoop can potentially clear, but there's no Shoop, and he's gonna go for the Ragnarok. And even though Nujwk has a tremendous lead right now, this is still a very long round for Ragnarok to put in the work, and he has double Whale Harpooner in hand as well, so he's gonna get full value out of that gold weather. And in a scenario like this, that's so many points.
I'm trying to think of a situation. I mean, it's going to be very hard for Nujwk to play.
Well, he's not gonna get full value because he has the
well,
Red Brigade. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Shiro is more likely to get value here because, as you know, the tallest unit now getting hit.
Yep.
I guess you could have made a case that Ragnarok could have been the better first chance play if you are playing around Scorches, because I mean, with Ulrich by himself, that's one thing, but leaving at least one high unit on the board this way, it's just never going to happen. At least Shiro is going to connect with at least 111, and Sigdrifa and with Freddybabes holding the other pirate, and with Sigdrifa's best pull. Again, in my memory here, could be another 11. That's pretty scary when the Scorch is a potential threat.
Yep, like he may have to think outside the box here to try to avoid that. I don't know how though. Like he could hit his own unit with a warship, but this is super awkward. Like Freddy's hand was just so underwhelming. So this is Nujwk's chance to get momentum on his side and start off the series with a win as the Vryhead Brigade goes down.
Upon which your kind dies.
Threatens some humans, standard, race love here from the elves, and saves that weakened knife fight from, imminent demise as he brings him to the range row and clears. Down goes the Whale Harpooner and drags that dwarf onto the melee row. But this significantly weakens Ragnarok's overall value.
It took Freddy just a little bit too long, I think, to get this going here. I mean, it's not like he's still going to get a fair amount of value here out of these two rows, at least 14 and 14 plus whatever the Whaler extra value you can get here. I am concerned about the 11s on the board as far as Shiro being in the hand. As far as Aglace, I do believe Aglace is, the Mandrake, right? So. Aglace is activated as well.
Elven Swordmaster is a little bit awkward for Nujwk though, because he doesn't want to kill the Whale Harpooner as it does enable Corsair, but he also doesn't want to hit the pirate, because the Dominion pirate, he knows he has one in hand, so he knows he's going to line up a Scorch, so it's a little bit awkward for him there as he goes for Broover onto a Dwarven Mercenary. Really fixated on denying the Ragnarok value. He's gonna force another Whale Harpooner out of Freddybabes. Not a tall enough unit though. Like it just doesn't feel that good. He's so far behind.
I do believe that there is still a Whaler in the deck for Croc to pull. So that is Croc's pull, in case anybody's curious.
It'll be 10 points though, so it won't be enough to deny Scorch.
Oh, certainly. Certainly indeed.
Interesting. He's opting to go for the Whale Harpooner.
As opposed to.
First? Let's see.
I mean, this forces Nujwk to play into one of the weather rows.
Of course.
But he could just play it into the top row at the same time. Nujwk does have a lot of potential here. He has the Sage in his hand, which I believe is activated on. Actually, I believe Martyrdom is the only thing that could be active for the Sage, and that
it's
did
not
not
in the
occur.
graveyard.
It's not in the graveyard.
Is Sage a dead
no
card?
Thunder. Well, Thunder. No, because Vadermaker is likely going to be playing Elzar's
course,
Thunder,
yeah, of
so
course.
there is that there. I mean, it does look good on paper here for Nujwk at this point.
Down goes the second Whale Harpooner, dragging that dwarf back. He's like, get it here. Take those meteors, son.
Man, the old animation when the meteors used to actually just straight up fall on the board. I mean, it worked your computer. It worked your computer out a little bit, but it was fun to watch, especially at a tournament where the frame rate's going to be
69 points.
Primo. I know you want to say it.
I know.
Your patience is astounding me, Mogwai.
Yeah.
You've grown so much in so many short weeks.
I'm finally a man, Dane.
You're finally a man. You are a man.
Yeah, the other day I woke up and I saw some hair in my belly button. It was quite the moment.
Well, you made a new meme. One way or another, we got there.
What do you...
Freddy's not looking happy.
Shiru. That takes a lot of pressure out of Freddy, but then again, look at this lead, son.
I mean, is it early? I mean, it is if you honestly thought you were going to catch 22. Ha, I just walked right into that one. But I mean, if you want to set up the stage, you need to play Beta Maker after that. If you want to get the most value out of Swordmaster, you are going to cut into one of the Scorch targets in the first place, and Aglace only pulls the Mandrake, which isn't necessarily what you want right now, because you'd probably be happier bringing Alderic back up with the Mandrake. So arguably that was one of the best times to play Shiro if you were trying to sequence in that way. Considering Nujwk's score lead at this point, I think he's probably feeling pretty safe, especially considering what he's seen from Freddy can only indicate that his hand is subpar.
Yeah, Freddy is so far behind.
Oh man, his face says it all. His face just says it all.
He had a very awkward opening hand though, and Nujwk definitely capitalized. It's so amusing to see, like, as you said, like the Squirtle Shoof, like having.
No,
I mean, he didn't draw it to Shoof. That's important to know.
Shoof hasn't been seen yet, and many players, I think, have we seen?
He's enabling. He wants to enable the other Corsair.
Yeah.
Nothing like a somewhat negative tempo play.
Well, I mean, there's always the chance that Nujwk's hand isn't good, so let's just keep this going, I suppose. But I mean, Aglace right here on Udalric is fantastic.
You'll be fine.
The big boost.
Yeah, that's so solid. Like,
I mean, you could have made the case to do this a little bit later, so you don't lose that value in the 2 rounds that remain. But he's just preparing himself.
He doesn't want to give him the Corsair value, but the thing is that the Corsair is already enabled anyways. But I guess he also wants to prevent some sort of res onto it or something. He really is trying to avoid going for Althor's Thunder onto that. I think we're gonna see a forfeit here.
Yeah,
from
Freddy's
Freddy.
honestly thinking about it here. It's just a
Yeah,
little bit too tall in order. 60 points.
Nujwk with the win, round 1, getting a win against Freddybabes, going 1-0.
Oh, I thought he was targeting his own archer there with the BM. Why is he showing him this?
What? Yeah.
I mean, why would you show? Well, I guess it doesn't matter. He won with it,
Let
so.
us sing the song
Oh,
of
yeah, sure.
steel.
Nujwk is
Just play out. He likes to play cards, man.
Yeah, I mean, we can't play cards. Can't argue that he's not doing that. So 1-0 against the champ of champs, Freddybabes, trying to get his own title here in Nujwk. Freddybabes trying to get back into the groove here on the pro scene. Now, that was, I don't think that was Freddy's fault. I don't think that he did the best with the resources that he was given. And considering how tight the deck list is, that honestly seems like it shouldn't have happened. But it did. Just like Tailbot didn't draw knockers in Game 3 of the last series.
This is the point of the series in which it starts to, the hill is steeper now. He has to face all these weather-based decks, and the only deck in his lineup that actually had answers to this sort of strategy is out of the way. So Nujwk, the fight has just begun for him, but he's off to, this is a moral victory. This is his first victory in an official Gwent event.
Did he get swept by Pronio? He did, didn't he?
He lost 3-0. So this is his first official win, and again, it is against none other than Freddybabes. So
hey, take what you can get for
go
sure.
Spade!
The interesting thing, one thing I also wanted to point out, just while we're looking at the deck lineups here, is that once again, just like in the game that we just even I think in the series 2 as well. 2 players, 8 different decks. Even though we're seeing 3 identical leaders being available for play, both Nilfgaard lists are different, Soldiers and Alchemy, both Croc lists are different, Veterans and this weather-based control list from Freddy, and then both Brewer lists are, that's a lie, they are very similar. I'll take that one part back. 7 decks isn't bad though, definitely more diverse than some of the tournaments we've seen.
Here we go, folks. It is Calvate Soldiers versus Croc Veterans. This is an interesting one for sure. This is actually not. This is not an amazing matchup for soldiers, and for a lot of different reasons. First of all, like the Vicar of Aromatic Tech, which tends to be really powerful against greatswords, is not really as menacing here, as you're not really denying your opponent's late game or their best, resource for round 3 with it. And on top of that, 2-charge hunters are actually really annoying because they ping off the slave inventories and really weaken your sentry game plan here. So it's gonna be intriguing how this one plays out. There's Lambert, though.
Freddy knows exactly what he's doing. He's got his hands together. He highlighted Lambert. I mean, Twitch chat can take it from here, right? Freddy knows. He's looking right at the camera. This is for you guys. This is absolutely for you guys, if it wasn't clear already. Freddybabes is a man of the people, one could say safely. It's highly likely you're going to hit. I mean, he doesn't know exactly what he's playing against as far as Croc on Crate, unless he knows exactly the style of which Nujwk likes to play. But hitting those veterans is highly likely, considering 3 reconnaissances are available.
Nujwk really running the clock here.
I mean, the long round for soldiers is pretty good, and it's not the. Veterans isn't the slowest deck in the world, but it certainly isn't the fastest, so... Freddy's...
Okay, I'm probably pretty good at reading lips. Let me see.
No, it's funny. I could just barely hear. Like where we're sitting is not too far from Freddy, and I couldn't quite make that out. But I would love to know what he just said to himself right there. But he's just planning it out, right? He's got the 3 slave infantries available as well as Vreem down to sentry. Vreem obviously can, well, not obviously. I mean, you may not be familiar with the list, but produce a 4th slave infantry or a 4th sentry.
The key moment to play Remedy is after you played your 3rd slave infantry, right before the 1st sentry. That's the key turn to play Remedy, because you either get...
You know what you're getting.
You can get a slave infantry, which enhances your sentries, or you can get another sentry, which just capitalizes on your fully developed slave board, right? It's not wise to play Remedy before that. In most scenarios, down goes the 2-charge hunter immediately onto the slave infantry, targeting one of the doomed copies to not enable Freddybabes' potential ointment.
Man, the Vicar of Aromatic is pretty strong in this particular matchup if you're going to be grabbing a giant Bearmaster.
Yeah.
We don't really know
not nearly
how,
as much as great swords, but it's fine.
For sure. But we don't really know how Nujwk's game is going to play out here. We see 3 reconnaissance, and we see no Bearmasters nor Heme Spear Maidens. So, but he does have Restore. So is he going to be able to play? Well, no. Here's the thing: he already played one of the veterans. So the Bearmasters are at least a 2. So he can't just do the Spear Maiden Restore combo here. So there is that to notice. He only has 1 Spear Maiden, so he may not be leaning on that combo as much as maybe like I would, because I think that combo is extremely strong. Being able to play a 22-point Bearmaster is something to look forward to. However, yeah, there's only 1 Spear Maiden as well, so it's not like you can ultimately kill that. But you're fine playing the Restore later. I mean, you don't mind playing a 19-point Bearmaster. It's not like that's bad by any stretch of the imagination.
But it is true we haven't been able to see that setup in this tournament so far. Freddy really debating whether he can keep up this tempo. The key thing about Nilfgaard soldiers is it's a rather straightforward deck in regards to its game plan. Like you play sentries, you play sentries, you play sentries. You play slaves. It's rather straightforward unless you're me. And then you drop defenses.
Explaining it not as straightforward as playing it, I guess.
But the key thing about this deck is round 3. It is actually a very complex deck to pilot despite its proactive nature, due to the fact that it doesn't thrive in a short round 3. You need to find the right moment to pass. It's okay for the soldiers to lose round 1. Just need to find the right moment to pass, and you need to enable just the right amount of length for round 3. It's actually rather tricky here.
It is.
It's not an easy deck to pilot by any means.
And in Freddy's situation, because there's a lot of different combinations you can run with like Vikovara Novice, and in this case, like Freddy, and I saw him playing this on stream like months ago. He loves running like the 1 recruit to get that sentry. That's not a choice for everybody specifically. So there is a single recruit as well on this list to get that extra sentry. But the thing about being okay losing round 1 is that when you have a setup like we currently see in Freddy's board state, losing round 1 becomes far less likely the more time passes, because these sentries, with 8 of them on the board already, sentries start to go up from there. It's just a really, really strong play, especially when you can get the extra one from Vreem one way or another.
Yeah, I think you have to go Remedy here.
And a good testament to how complex this deck is that I honestly believe that the Slave Infantry Sentry deck was good before it actually saw tournament play, but there were obviously lots of great Nilfgaard options on top of that. But I feel like it obviously rose to fame in this particular patch, but the power level didn't change so much from where it was before. Before things like Slave Driver got changed, and Slave Driver's obviously at the time.
He got it!
We're over tuned.
He got it!
He does have.
Friendly calling on to the slaves.
You can do that. I mean,
this is really big. Whenever this happens, this is massive because it also enables your ointments to be more threatening in round 3. It just makes everything better.
Slave Hunter also, let's say he didn't hit the ultimate units of Sentry or Slave Infantry. The Slave Hunter in this matchup is also quite nice because you can steal the Bearmaster from Rezzing. And there's the pass, and Freddybabes should easily be able to clean this up, going down a card.
The question is, he doesn't even have to invest the Sentry here is the thing.
Oh, and you hold on to Lambert because you know you're going to see a lot of bears. You know you're going to see, well, the bears, I guess, is probably the only thing.
You just drop Lambert here.
Yeah, I mean that's the other side of it. Do you think that you're not going to
You just
really
drop
do
Lambert because you preserve the Sentry, and now it just makes it like the fact that you have an extra Slave Infantry on the graveyard is huge. Azir doesn't really do much here. Like Azir can be more threatening in round 3 potentially to try to deny restore something.
He knows he's going to see 3 bears between the restore and the Bearmaster, and the 2 Bearmasters still left in the deck.
Go
He's just going to go for it.
He did it, guys. He did it. He
I was going
won.
to say, watch Nujwk's face. Very nice. We did it.
Nujwk is officially impressed.
Both players. Oh wait, Nujwk he folded his hands for a moment. Bless.
This is really good for Freddy.
Yeah.
Freddy can just pass here and go for a very long round. The question is Nujwk running Mega Sword? He is not.
No, that would be a good one.
That would be devastating for him. Does Freddy, is he anticipating it as a possibility? Because that could really mess up with his...
Yeah,
that could play some mind games on him.
Does Nujwk come from the Pronio school of veteran play?
Oh, Cantrell is risky here. I don't know.
Well, is it so? I mean, you're getting your card.
Because it doesn't have a tutor for so Haim can just basically counter it. And like if he plays Cantrell here, Nujwk just plays Haim into Ulderic and he preserves his card.
Right? Freddy's forced.
Yeah, Cantrell is very risky.
Well, how does Freddy deal with that otherwise? I mean, as far as, it would be better. You can make a strong case for Dry Pass for all the reasons you said that Soldiers is so strong in a long round.
I think you have to Dry Pass here. There's no reason not to Dry Pass. And you just mulligan the Cantrell away. If you draw into Rain Farm, then so be it. But it's just, yeah, you Dry Pass. Always.
Freddy running,
Nujwk has only played 1 veteran. Like, he hasn't even, this is really good for Freddy.
Rainfarn is one of the golds that is still available to Freddy, as well as Voted Forts, and we see Tress and Lambert Swordmaster coming in as well in those precious gold slots. I think
you play a veteran here if you're Nujwk.
It's possible that Nujwk's thinking about getting Ulderic out of the way and then playing a veteran.
He hasn't played a gold, has he? I think he may be worried about Renew.
It's true.
He may be worried about Renew here. So we may just see him drop something like Coral just to make sure that he doesn't brick, which just feels really bad because he loses one of his carryover plays, but
He's gonna at least load the restore here for the Bearmaster because this means that the 2 seconds. He's just gonna go ahead.
Oh, he needs reses. Well, he needs to enable his resurrection game as well. Oh, he has some
double veterans in hand with the Restore Bearmaster is kind of what we were talking about before. Yeah. He is going to get that 20. Oh, is he just going to play Ulderic as well?
Yeah, he's going to thin. That way he makes sure. Yeah, this is a great play. Like, there's no reason not to do this. You'll still stay ahead. You won't lose a card, and you'll get the Spy out of your deck, and you'll also enable Renew.
Yeah, the enabling of the Renew is just how this works that much more perfectly.
And he gets rid of one of the 2 Freyas. This has worked out really well for Nujwk right there. The problem is he has 2 veterans, so he hasn't really established his carryover game prior to this round, and he's gonna face an army. He's gonna face a lot of soldiers here. I think a Cantrell Mulligan here is going to happen. Yep.
Double ointment, slaves. So slave infantry plus well, he's going to Vico Varo. That's the other reason why Nujwk had to make that restore play. I mean, you load it anyway, but you also want to deny the Vico Varo medic. And that was maybe one consideration that Freddy was putting in, but I think that if Freddy had a long enough round with all of these slave infantries, the restore is not as threatening just because of how strong the sentries become. And the more Freddy plays here, the better chances Calvin is going to be drawing into a sentry, Joaquin pulling into a sentry, and Triss, of course, being able to have recon or ointment one way or another. So he'll be able to fill the board with slave infantries to create that 26-point sentry with at least 9 slave infantries on board. That seems very realistic. And I don't think there's a lot Nujwk can do here outside of just trying to kill as many as he can.
It could easily be like 30 or 32 because he does have 4. He doesn't lead off with Freya.
Wow.
He does not lead off with a Freya. He's vulnerable here to the Vic of our medic.
Yeah, take it. Yeah, Freddy's on that wavelength. I mean, he does have a lot of Freya targets, but...
but if he does that and then follows it up with Azir, he could punish him here. I mean, he's not, like, there's no rush because there's, like I said, there's 3 units.
I mean, does Freddy think it's bait of any kind? I mean, it's really hard to argue against just slamming the Vikavara medic on the board immediately.
There's, like, no reason not to do this, honestly.
It's just, I mean, yeah, the less reses. And yeah, the Asira follow-up
You actually want to take the Hunter. You want to take the Hunter because you want to deny an answer to the slave infantry right there. So you just take away the Hunter. And then maybe you Azir.
Good call. That was a good call, Mogwai.
Thank you.
It's like you've played Nilfgaard before.
Only a few times.
A couple of games.
I don't really like the faction too much.
Well, I mean, Nilfgaard is honestly a fantastic faction in that there's just so many.
Right? I know.
No, but I mean, like, there's so many archetypes that are like realistically playable, but unfortunately they got all the great toys, but they also got some of the worst ones as well. Just some of the stuff that you love to hate in Nilfgaard, but honestly, as far as viability, it's always shown in so many different ways you can play it, and I always felt that Nilfgaard is, from a design standpoint, gold standard for all other factions. Skellige is really close. You see a lot of different Skellige lists out there these days. But Nilfgaard's always been able to do it so many different ways here, but unfortunately they do have, you know, the hand buff Regis Letho stuff that you just love to hate, right?
Down goes Azir, gonna return Roach to his deck. And the Hunter, the Caesar's Hunter, denying a Sigrifa res onto it, which Sigrifa is basically gonna resurrect either.
Oh,
Yep,
Nujwk with the beat with the emote. Enjoy them while you have them. Wrong. Another mistake. Here come the veterans here, powering up a lot of onboard value. And by a lot, I mean 2. I'm going to stand by that comment, my friends. Because it's time to start developing these slave infantries, I think. I mean, there's no rush, really. There's nothing that really can stop this.
Powerful.
I mean, it's not like Nujwk has a good lead as well.
Right, Ointment onto the slave infantry. Slave number 1.
And 2 and 3. Or 200 or 300. I mean, if you go by the card art, it looks like there's quite a few of them.
I love it. I love its premium, by the way.
It was one of the first premiums I crafted after Midwinter. I just thought it was just gorgeous. I mean, Gwent, the artwork is, it's the one thing that I feel like it's the one thing that all Gwent, like the whole Gwent community can huddle under the umbrella of. The art has always been fantastic, and there's absolutely, who argues that?
Just look at the top.
Who wants to be
guy
that
at the top.
person?
Willing the flag, that glorious sun. Praise be. Good for you.
And
good for you, my man.
That flag's going to keep waving. We're going to see a lot of those waving flags by the end of this match, for sure. And a sight
to behold, my friend. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy some gold and beauty. Ointment number 2. And he's just gonna have to play out these slaves. We see no answer from Nujwk. Nujwk didn't even opt to go for the reconnaissance right there. He's gonna go for it now. Will he get the Hunter? He does get the Hunter.
I mean, it helps him. It's, you know, these are inches here, which you will take. Gwent is a game of inches. And the Vikavara Novice is accessing another ointment. And then...
I'd rather use the metric system, but yeah, it's fine.
Well, as a Canadian, I think I would agree with you. Damn U.S. idioms.
Freddy's far behind right now, but he's building up his play here. The question is, I think you just go. You naturally just go for the Vikavara Novice here onto the last ointment. But the question is, what do you do with Triss? I think before going for Triss, you go for Calvate. Actually, no, because you have to make a decision here. Because Sentry, he has one sentry. Joaquin potentially could be another sentry.
Well, Triss, you are looking. There is one thing that we may overlook. There is a single Mardrome that Triss is able to get. So if you're not looking for a reconnaissance on anything because all your sentries or all your slave infantries are out.
I mean, Triss has to be either an ointment or a recon, 100%, right? It's either like a sentry or an ointment onto the last slave infantry in the graveyard here. I think you can afford to. No, okay.
Yeah, there is really no reason for me to bring up the Mardrome there. I think I feel like it was positioned as Triss not having the option
Let's
here.
see what he
of
opts to
course,
go for. He's gonna go for the ointment. Oh boy. Oh boy,
Little
the
roach
army
surprise.
is as big as ever.
Oh man, so many points from one sentry and
And
potentially
he's not that far
three.
behind. He's not that. He's only 14 points behind. This is gonna be insane. Offensive Mandrake. I mean, that's 11 points. Oh boy, here it goes.
Here we go, Freddy. He's looking. I mean, he's anticipating something that he's hoping for no Sihil. I'm pretty sure that's what that face is.
Yeah. He's really worried.
Because
About
I think it's probably like, well, if he has Sihil, I lose. So let's just go for the whole strategy. There's nothing really you can.
I don't think there's a
do
reason to
but-
play Joaquin here. I think you go for Calvade first or
take a
Sentry.
peek.
Calvade or Sentry. Like, I don't think the sequencing between those two matters as much at this point, like, at all. But you just drop the Sentry, like it's sure value.
Calvate usually is
look at
before
the super
Joaquin,
fence.
almost always, right?
Mega Sword
Boom!
meets Super Fence.
Super.
Going over to 94 points, 5-point leads for Freddy. Down goes Champion of Hoff to potentially stop a decoy there onto it. But this is all she wrote, baby. This is over.
Man, being able to preserve Calvate this long in any Nilfgaard deck is fantastic. Ooh, baby. Oh, man.
Super Fence 2.
I can't count that high, Mogwise. That fence makes the other fence look so small.
I know, right? He's building the wall here.
Yeah, that's 22 plus 18. At least I can get that far.
I think
40-point center is
I think
nutty.
Freddy's got.
Oh yeah! I mean,
God, I'm a
just like
psychic. There we go.
just like in the second series where Azekov made the play that just blasted Tailbot out of the game. That was basically what that was right there. 40-point century. Took me a second to get there, but we got there.
Dominant victory there for Freddy, even in the
Just
score.
soldier things right there.
Alrighty, they're tied right now. It is Croc on Crate and Bruver versus John Calvate and Croc. Even though I see Croc Dago. Croc
Dago. And I think that Croc and Crate, like that's Croc and Crate, different lists.
Long-lost brother.
Veterans and control, and then you have Alchemy on Calvate's side, or Nujwk's side, and then Shoop on Freddybabes' side. Shoop definitely taking a day off. We have not seen Shoop played yet. Yet we have seen at least 3 players bring it.
All right, here we go, folks. Game number 3. What will Freddy opt to lead off with, and what will Nujwk bring? Freddy's back in the blue coin, and Nujwk is on red.
Seems like, it's going to be a little
Skellige on Skellige
there.
Prime. Let's do this. See, but there's a big difference between these two lineups. One is double gold weather, triple gold resources. And this is a completely different hand for Freddy.
I feel like we're actually going to see this deck now. I feel like it just wasn't actually existing in that first game.
There's no clear whatsoever for Nujwk right here.
I mean, this was the Shoop list did have the one clear in Ida, but this is this could be like the steamroller type situation that Freddybabes foreseeing very few clears here and being able to actually getting a card back on the open pass, knowing you have 2 weathers plus Burna just in case there's something that he missed or some sort of weather clear that was not played, even though Nujwk was fine tipping his hand always here.
I
think it's fine. I mean, your long round is just dominant.
The only issue is the Demon Pirate. Like, you kind of want to get that out of your deck, but this is fine. He has both gold weather resources and Burna. Like, he's going to easily be able to retain his card, I believe, especially considering he has Scowl in hand as well.
I mean, one thing about Nujwk's veteran. Now, I love veterans, but one thing about veterans is that I love playing Croc and Morkvarg, and playing Morkvarg in the list. Period. Nujwk doesn't do that, so the protection, just the round protection on the pass there. Although he was on the red coin, but just as generally speaking here.
Is he gonna risk this Corsair? That's super. Ooh, punished.
The thing about Dimwit Pirates. The thing about Dimwit Pirates is like they're probably one of the best bricks because at least they're 11 points when you have to play it from hand. It's like just 1 point worse than an unbuffed Bearmaster.
Yeah, it's actually fine to brick him. It's not that bad, actually. Especially in this matchup, it doesn't really make a difference.
I mean, Freddy would have been happy to have all 3 Demon Pirate captains, or Demon Pirates in his hand in the first game if it meant that he had a little bit more
Nujwk gonna
utility.
drop Sigrifa onto the veteran right off the bat. He's gonna try to enable his carryover game and extend beyond.
Now, Nujwk knows exactly what Freddy's packing here in the 2 gold weathers. You didn't see Burna, but you could actually, Nujwk could actually make a case that not to worry about Burna because you'd think, well, 2 gold weathers. Freddy didn't play Burna in the last game. 2 gold weathers, I mean, do you fit Burna in there as well?
I think you definitely expect Burna, though.
You think so?
Yeah, I think you definitely do.
Like Heim and Coral seem like reasonable things to anticipate with the 2 other slots taken up by the gold weather.
Yeah, but like the thing is, like Burna's actually like better than Ragnarok and I don't know. I especially, yeah, I feel like Nujwk is definitely expecting it. But that's the thing is, like it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it doesn't
change things, you know, because you can't play like if you play round 1, you play into the other.
I just like getting inside the heads of the players a little bit, especially with Freddy. He gives you so much body language to parse as a people watcher.
Yeah.
As a people person, Mogwai. I love the contrast between a player like Freddybabes and Tailbot, let's say. To use a prime example.
I agree.
I
think we're gonna see Scowl here. Off the dead. Okay, I think you definitely take Demon Corsair here. Discard the
it all works.
Whaler. It works
exactly what you want.
And you are enabled. See, the thing is, even though Nujwk has a very strong lead, you can't afford to pass this early on against the weather deck. So this is going to become very, very tricky for him. It's all about Nujwk finding the right pass, the right moment to pass to make it so that round 3 is short enough, but he preserves his card advantage lead over Freddy. Freddy has like 3 cards over Nujwk right now as he has to play 1. So Nujwk can let this round go too long because that could prove to be quite devastating. We'll see.
I mean, Freddy's going to start tempoing out at this point.
For sure.
It's, I mean, the fact that he can just play the Whaler right now and start just enabling the extra row damage on Ragnarok just to get things started.
He's going to enable Decoy.
6 points a turn at this point. Like, no lead really is all that.
Easy Decoy.
Easy Decoy to bring the veteran back and get,
I mean, he can just let it take all the damage and then Decoy towards the end.
Yeah, same thing with, well, we don't see a Mandrake, do we? He does have it, but it's not.
It's not in his hand.
It's not in his hand. Yeah, Freddy's now.
Gotta pass, you gotta pay.
Yeah.
Or just give them all they got.
You know, it's funny. That's like one of the. I think the Demon Pirate Captain's voice line is the most one of the earliest voice lines I ever heard in Gwent. You want to pass, you gotta pay.
It's actually that's the same for me.
Because Skelly was the first thing I explored in the original closed beta. And I think in Homecoming, I don't know. I think it might be what I take a peek at first as well. But of course, let's stay in the present here as we are in. As you said, I still think one of the best things you called it vintage Gwent, and that's I think how we're going to remember this. Special time, Mogwai.
This is the last vintage Gwent tournament. It's history in the makings. Where Freddybabes proclaim himself.
Yep, Freddy definitely made a name for himself here.
Mother goddess, she giveth and taketh away.
More thinning.
Nujwk has just this could be an amazing story. Like him overcoming Freddy. Like,
I mean, that's just the start of the story too, because after that, I mean, his opponents only get harder. Who knows who's going to make it, right? We don't really know who's going to make it, but that's actually maybe the opposite of what I meant. Freddybabes is one of the most difficult opponents you could face in this tournament.
I was like, okay, let him finish.
Opposite, yeah, let me finish, Mogwai. Let me finish and say that I meant the opposite of what I said. And I just wanted to also point out Nujwk stacking up this row here really takes a lot of power away from the Whalers. As well as obviously taking power away from future Ragnarok, especially considering the Decoy is going to be healing one of these units, well, only one of these units, and likely the veteran on the siege row. But I mean, Burna onto this row is also,
he's really thinking about it.
This is the thing, right? Nujwk maybe didn't anticipate this, but I mean, how do you don't really play around it. You're playing into one thing one way or another. This is the most devastating thing, and I remember this way back, in the Gwent Slam days, the movement meta. It was just so hard to play around everything possible because you're getting moved all over the place. Great Swords was unplayable back at the time because everything was moving all over the place. Marigold's Hailstorm, like getting punished going wide on a row, getting punished going vertical as well. And I feel like Freddy's really kind of embracing this here. With it's kind of a throwback. I mean, Whalers and row movement was huge at Challenger too. Just I'm gonna reminisce as much as I can possibly do that in this tournament. But this is a great throwback just from Freddy. A little Lambert running a great Whaler control list.
What will Freddy opt to do here? The thing is,
Maybe just throw
Freddy's getting
the ornamental sword and see what you get.
Freddy's really threatening Nujwk, and Nujwk still has a few things he wants to do. He
make that
wants to get rid
Corsair
of his
extra
spy.
sweet
Okay,
later on.
there goes the Mandrake onto the War Harpooner. That empowers his Corsair for the late game as well, and the restore play onto that. That could be super good.
8 points a turn. This is
And
probably it for
Nujwk.
Nujwk.
I mean, easy renew, right?
this is the white flag here.
Easiest renew pickup of your life, son. Wait, did he just?
Well, hold on.
Wait a second.
He is here.
Let's try to explain that one, by the way.
Okay.
Let's try to explain that one. I mean, the thing is, did he forget what round it was, perhaps?
Wait. He also missed out on the decoy. He missed out on the decoy in
Oh,
the back.
it's true. It's gonna die. Yeah, the veteran's gonna get killed here.
I thought he was waiting for that decoy.
All right. I mean, Nujwk's face is starting to show. I think a little bit. I mean, it's. Yeah, losing the veteran may have been. And now he's gonna play the decoy.
I think, yeah. I mean, that's kind of this.
I mean, it's kind of the same thing,
Yeah,
but that's much better, right?
Yeah, I guess, yeah, that works. That's fine. That's fine.
But now, I mean, look at the score at this point. Freddybabes up 2 cards. I mean, you could make. Well, the thing is, even if you could make a case about the Karathi Heatwave, you don't want to overwrite the Skellige Storm at all. If you were worried about this being a round that would be too long to take advantage of both cold weathers, you would consider. I mean, I don't think if Freddybabes thought this would go this long. But it's hard to play into this.
As long as he keeps that card over him, though, he's in a pretty good spot. Though it is true that losing Burn a Brand though is definitely. But I think maybe I think Nujwk's best chance here is just make this round as short as possible and try to overcome his card advantage.
Second Freddybabes lister to see what Croc's pulling. I believe it's a Whaler.
It's a Whaler.
Yeah.
It is a Whaler, but the thing is, that's something that you want to preserve for round 3 if you're gonna resort to Karathi Heatwave, because that makes it so that you do actually get good value out of the card.
I don't think Nujwk's gonna let the round be that long, but I mean,
we'll see. We'll see
it's
how
not
far
really,
he's going. He can only push
only
so
half
much.
up to
Yeah,
him.
there's
Yeah.
a pass. This is long enough for Freddy.
And Freddy
This is
got
long
ahead.
enough for Freddy.
Yeah, giving those points to Freddy on Udalric there. I mean, I think it was fine, the decoy on Sigdarifa, but 2 very, very different Croc decks right here. I'm glad we haven't seen very many mirrors, if we've seen any mirrors.
Interesting. Okay,
I don't
mulling
think
the way
so.
the Demon Corsair, he wants to make sure that he doesn't mess up the restore. He has double ship, which is fine. It's just 11 points, not really much right there. But I mean, if you're Freddy, you just lead off with the Karathi Heatwave. You always do that, because you're gonna play your Whalers anyways, right?
Seems safe, unless for some reason, I mean, you load your restore and then you play Karathi Heatwave, likely.
Yeah.
The 8-point Pirate Captain, which will pull a Corsair, which will pull a Whaler or Warship. It's like 2 sides of the Restore game, right? You see Restore as it's been used in Vets with the 8-point Bearmaster, and then you see Restore, which was, I think, has seen more popular play. The Pirate Captain Restore into Corsair, into Ship has always been Siri Nova levels of power that Skellige has been able to put into a lot of decks. And Bran has seen a lot of variations that played with ships as well back in the day. Again, reminiscing, thinking about Challenger 2. The list that we would see movement and Whalers with was a Bran list at the time. But Restore on a Pirate Captain has always been pretty good.
Yeah, this bear lead makes things very easy for Freddy, as he can just opt to go for the Whaler Resurrection right now and just send that bear to another row and get the. I was gonna see the sand, but the sand ticking.
I wasn't sure if you were gonna go somewhere. You were gonna explore the territory of a thirsty bear, or if you were gonna explore the territory of an animal lost in the desert.
I was gonna say, blessed by English. just gonna go with that. I tried. All right, down goes Croc onto the Whaler. Gonna target the bear onto the melee row, and there the value begins.
Yeah, this
Freddy
is gonna be just so hard to deal with here at this point with Nujwk.
Yep.
That ornamental sword represents all sorts of potential options, but probably just with Sigdarifa not really being in the equation here. I do believe that ornamental sword is just to make Sigdarifa better if you don't have a great res, and when you're playing stuff like Corsairs and restore for Pirate Captain and things like that. You maybe don't always have a great target for Sigdrifa, especially if there's. It seems like Freddybabes has been fine doing the open pass. So in an open pass situation, really hard to play Sigdrifa. So Ornamental Sword protects against perhaps an open pass. Gets a 14-point Whaler. In case you forgot about the Mandrake.
Freddy's still in the lead, which is very important considering he's banking on gold weather, right? You tend to have a slower start, but the fact that he's already ahead, the thing is, he doesn't, two of these plays in his hand are not really that impressive at all. Like, double Warship is just 22 points in general, while Nujwk has a lot of power.
Yeah,
here.
Heim against Skellig is so good. You almost always get Sigdrifa.
Yep. Down goes the Heim, creates Sigdrifa, and he's going to be rezzing.
He's trying to get as much value as he possibly can at this point because the weather is ticking. It looks, I mean, the 6-point Bearmaster looks pretty good to me.
Yep. I agree.
Stacking the row properly just to take the power away from potential Whalers because, you know, you've got that row set up here. You don't want to unset it up by moving something into the melee row and then lose that constant damage there from the heat wave. Getting hotter and hotter.
Freddy dropping a Warship onto the Bear for 4 damage right here.
Scare him into...
No longer ahead.
Scare him into an Igni possibility? Like maybe he thinks that he has to move something off that row, but I don't think I don't think Nujwk's going to
He's already seen all of his goals, I believe.
What is it?
Down
At this
goes
point,
the
yes.
Tush's Hunter.
At this point, yes.
20-point difference. Even though this Graphic Heat Wave is ticking, it's not really providing as much value as Freddy would like here. These warships are just very underwhelming in comparison to what Nujwk is bringing to the table here.
Let's see what that ornamental. So what's behind door number 1 here? I want to see what. I mean, it's funny how I look at this like I'm really curious, like I want to see, and then I remember how I felt about Create in the past. So. But I think I've seen Create in a positive and negative light, I think, generally. But I'm pretty sure I know what most people think about Create.
Nujwk is closing the gap here, or creating the gap. Creating the gap.
He's trying to create the gap,
5-point
He's trying to keep
difference
this.
here.
He's trying to keep this as much of a chasm as possible.
How can I help?
Man, these plays are just so big. And you can actually utilize the Freya to delay a bit of the damage on the back row. Yep. You played in the siege row there and deny a little bit of drought value there.
All before modern Freya.
Just a bit. Yeah, here comes, well, let's see here. Yada, Smuggler, and Queensguard. Not great. Not great. Well,
wait,
does he need to? He doesn't need to smuggle anything back in for the Pirate Captain, but just gonna take that 15-point
difference here.
15-point difference. Croc pulling.
11.
Croc's pulling a Hunter, I believe. Yes.
This seems insurmountable.
I mean, it's just we know how strong this Pirate Captain play is. We're gonna get the 2 ticks, so we're gonna add 4 to this here. It's not gonna be enough.
Nujwk overcomes the gold weather with his veterans and gets another victory under his belt. He's just 1 win away from upsetting the former champion right here. Not bad.
I mean, what else is there to say? I mean, Nujwk was able to navigate Burn a Brand and double gold weather without a clear.
Got the right pass going on for him.
I mean, that's the thing, right? I mean, it's kind of like back in the day, there were a lot of really, really strong decks that just didn't mind taking the longest round, like row stacked dwarves. You had to find a way to split those crucial rounds into 2 pieces so you could manage what a long round means. And I think Nujwk really, I mean, with that extra information of seeing the deck already, that definitely helped him. I probably think that Freddybabes was, obviously you're always hoping to win every game you go in, but when you give away your weather plan, even against no clears, a skilled player can cut that in half. And the warships didn't really come through. Ornamental Sword didn't look great either. Looks like the players are getting ready to go into game 4 here.
We may see Bruver here as he's going on red. I think he'd rather go with Bruver on red and preserve Croc for... Yeah. He wants to go Bruver on red because Croc actually can just dry pass against Alchemy and just go with a double... Croc has a better matchup here. This is key. This is Nujwk's best chance to just end this. Like, him getting the win here is more likely than against the Croc list because double gold weather is super powerful against Alchemy. So this matchup is of absolute importance. Obviously, it's important. There's Shoop. That's huge for Freddy.
I mean, Alchemy is Nujwk's arguably his strongest deck. Now, I mean, we saw the Shoop and we saw Veterans. I mean, not that they're bad decks or anything, but Alchemy has just proven itself time and time again. It is a devastating deck.
He has. Wait, why does he have Germain in this Alchemy deck?
Are we looking at the list here?
Is it for Vilgefortz?
Bet this'll come as a surprise.
That's very interesting. Oh, and he emoted too. Bet this will come as a surprise. Yeah, it surprised us all. I mean,
what am I missing here? Wait.
This is okay. Let's think about this, Mogwai.
Does he just want the initial
We're both
tempo?
smart guys.
Well, I guess if we combine our brains, we can be considered
I mean, off the top of my head,
decent.
no. I mean, no. Even the reasoning I can get to is minimal.
I got it.
Is it because it's better
I got
against?
it. He likes cows.
Of course.
Yep.
Of course.
Nice analysis, Mogwai.
You got there. I mean, he said it might come as a surprise. We're gonna move past it now, but Nujwk's gonna show us the master plan in action here. Is it possible that he thinks that there just isn't a better silver card? No, that can't be.
Oh! That is so good. That is actually so good.
Yeah, that definitely helps. I mean,
That's amazing.
The thing is, like, Germain buffers a little bit of damage if you were worried about Frost. Like, that was the first thought that I had that I thought was pretty weak. But the way that Alchemy functions under weather is usually it doesn't thrive very well in weather in the first place. So, but in this situation, I don't know. It baits the fog for the Ancient Fog. There's no way that's not how you wrote it up.
Maybe it enhances your chances of like Macamail
Yes.
Buffing something.
No, that
more.
is what it is. That is what it is. It lessens the chances of Mahakamail all hitting the same target and getting reset or buffed or ignited or scorched or mandraked. Yeah. It just creates more targets for the beer.
We smart boys.
That is
So
gotta be
smart.
I hear the production team laughing. I can only imagine what Twitch chat is saying right now.
Right, down goes Hawker
We're
Sport.
finally going to see
On
Shoop in this game, at
Shiru.
least.
He wants to preserve Shiru for the late game. It seems.
I mean, it's interesting. The Ancient Foglet, if it had come down at a different time, he could have lined up Yavin for it, for Shiru there.
All right, getting his hands dirty, dropping the Viper Witcher onto the range row, hitting the Hawker support, propelling Nujwk to a 25-point lead over Freddybabes. Freddybabes has some climbing up to do here. That Ancient Foglet just really hindering his progress here.
I mean, Pyrotech is totally active at this point.
Yeah,
Panther,
you can definitely go Pyrotech.
Panther
you
as well, if you just wanted to
Pyrotech.
cut in.
You can go Pyrotech, and then you can set up Yavin, and then you can potentially Shiru both.
Yep.
That's a really
And
interesting
now's
line
the time
of play.
to do it too, because you are guaranteed. Well, you're probably always guaranteed to get the Foglet.
If you Pyrotechnician
depending
here,
on where
if you Pyrotechnician here, like you have the window to. It's perfect. It's actually perfect. But
likely Nujwk passes,
only
so
can
you
go
can't
now.
give Nujwk that many points. I don't know.
But then he just takes them all away. That's the thing. And because he's going on already, he can afford to do this. But he opts to not do it.
Well, I mean, is this the turn you do it, or do you wait till the Foglet is at 15, so you knock it down to 12?
No,
throw
because you have to
Yavin?
play Yavin.
I'm saying, yeah, you play Yavin into 13, and the Foglet grows 1 point, and then you scorch it. So is I think the next turn, depending on where the beer goes here, though.
No, because if he plays Pyrotechnician, the Foglet, when the turn gets back to him,
that
it'll
was
grow.
the turn.
Yeah,
No,
that was
right,
the turn
Marley,
to do
you're
it.
right,
So
you're
I guess Freddy wants to preserve Shiru for round 3, maybe.
Which is.
I mean,
Alchemy it's.
The thing is,
more
like,
I think about the
Cantrella
cows.
also counters this, which is important to note. So, like, it doesn't counter it, but it would kind of hinder that play as well, right?
It's true, yeah. I mean, then Freddy's only getting one target anyway, so you might as well just let that Foglet grow and get it all.
He's got to go for it now, though.
He also could still do line. I mean, it's not like the Pyrotechnician is the only thing he has that pings. He has 3 pings in his hand.
I think he may have seen the play now, especially with the Archer.
Yeah, the Archer still gets you there eventually.
But
And as far as the Elven Mercenary
he's
here,
going for it, or is he?
only Mardrome as far as
Storm is coming.
this with Recon and the Mardrome.
While we still can.
Okay, gonna go for the carryover play here with the Brighthead Neophyte, it seems.
Well, he's taking a look, right? Yeah, hit the.
May your sword and
Oh yeah,
armor
stopping a potential
yeah,
Cat here,
I like
Mandrake
this.
play here.
I like this line of play. Yep, deny any sort of Mandrake shenanigans.
And we do see,
power
we do
here.
know, like, that is being run. That is being run by Nujwk here. Nujwk not running Roach either. So as far as the Mandrake here, I mean the Mandrake does also buff up Jermaine, and if you were worried about whether hurting Jermaine, it's kind of a backup plan at least to get Mandrake value. Maybe you sear it back into your deck. He's not running anything like Alzur's Double Cross, so the Jermaine play in the first place is not something that he was leaning on. Also, it would conflict with Cantarella and the Guardian anyway. So
he's hovering over Yavin, which is interesting. Right now, his Shiru represents 23 points, which would propel him to 38. So I don't know about Yavin's timing here. I'm not sure it's correct.
It's not as crucial either because, I mean, Freddybabes doesn't run a lot of specialists. He does run more than one, being Shoop's Day Off, but he does have it in hand. So the necessity to feel like playing it, he's really, I mean, I don't know. It's really hard to just play your spy here and assume that, like, Nujwk would just be passing on that.
Right, going for the Archer here.
Freddybabes trying to predict the future here.
Jeez. Ultra focus mode. Classic Freddy, as Nujwk is just one sweet win away from pulling a major upset here. Not only redemption, but just it would be amazing.
I believe Freddy, so as far as the Brewer play for Freddy, this is a Barkley deck, as many Shoop lists are. So that is a huge reach play that Freddy has in his pocket here, as he's just kind of letting this round stay, you know, just definitely playing into the red coin here, just staying under, just making sure that he can take it with reach, and then dictate the rest of the round. Being careful. I mean, Nujwk, the 2 ointments in hand, definitely impacts what he's able to do, and if Nujwk drops Cantarella, Yavin comes right down. There's the pass. So this might be Brewer into Barkley?
No, he's already played Barkley.
He is. So Barkley's on the board. Hey, my friends.
It has to be Shiru. It has to be Shiru. Like, Shiru, I believe, is the only way.
What I got for looking at deck lists and not at the screen. On the other end of that, if we were now eliminating that, Hattori is the pull for Brewer, just in the future. That is also available to Freddy. To stabilize that chip here, as Freddy is able to take it here, going down a card.
The thing
with
is, Freddy,
Shoop in hand and Yavin. Very nice.
The thing is, Freddy knows that the only way Nujwk can actually tutor Cantarella is through Kahir onto John Calvate. So he's pretty safe to just play Yavin, and because he knows Nujwk is not running Rainfarm, so he's gonna. It seems he's gonna mull away the Panther right there, and just gonna drop Yavin. I think Yavin is pretty safe. Nujwk's hand is looking powerful though.
Yeah, now that we're in a round where the ointments matter here. Aglace is so good in this matchup as well. You're always getting value from it, getting beer or potion at the very least. Mandrake and Black Blood at the top end.
Freddy really debating
Freddy
here.
looking almost in physical pain at this point.
Nujwk super chill compared to last time. He was like kind of a nerve wreck then. Now he's just calm and collected as he can be.
Gonna grab that Mardrome. I mean, there are a lot of boosts to be concerned about as far as Alchemy is concerned. So being able to, if he thinks he's gonna go into a long run where that's gonna matter, there is that.
The problem is Freddy cannot go for the right hand Neophyte here because he does enable the Cantarella from Nujwk, and Nujwk would be 1 point ahead. Freddy really struggling here.
Freddy, yeah, I mean, at this point, it's just how much do you want to push? Is he thinking about just going for the card draw? Is he just going to go for the card draw?
Is he going to... Oh, he's going to go for the mage. He's going to go for the mage. He may get the charm or he may get the card draw.
We're going to take a look. Draw a card.
Draw a card.
He's still thinking about it, though. If he wants to push, he wants to put all the hazards on the row. But, I mean, how do you not draw a card?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Nujwk smiling. It's like, well, you got it. You got the card.
No one can hide.
He plays Cantarella and responds. And now it's just back to tempo. Like the problem with this sort of prey is that it enables the Cantarella here, as it is such a low tempo play for Freddy. Oh boy, I smell trouble for Freddy here. He's lost his most powerful swing.
I mean, he had. I'm pretty sure
he's going for weather. Freddy's going in. Freddy's going in.
I mean, the power in his hand, as far as Aglace and Brewer is concerned, super high. But the rest, I mean, it's middling.
And that's being like.
But you hold on to the Mardro. I think the Mardro here is for the Viper Witcher into Cantarella potentially, so you can heal it back up again. One way of going here. I mean, when Nujwk knows the card that was drawn was the Guardian. Like that was a really great lead off there with the Guardian.
Oh, is he going to try to mess with Freddy's draws? Oh boy.
He's putting the Elven Merc back in, and he may want to help his own deck here. Just double checking, triple checking. He's got. I mean, he has a little bit more time. He's second. No, he's going to go with the Merc after all.
He can't go Barkley. Just gives him
Put the
Brewer.
Fog back in the deck.
Oh wow. This is just going to push Freddy to go deep here.
Now the Fog prevents Aglace from playing the Fog, so that could have been the line of thinking there. But I think that Aglace just has so many stronger plays with like Black Blood and stuff like that.
I think Power Technician here is definitely justified.
Boom.
The Ancient Goalless.
Don't do it. They are not a toy, not for juggling. So I think if Freddybabes, at this point, if Freddybabes wants to go, if he really wants to push for tempo, I mean, at this point, he's showing that he's in on this, right? Playing the Weather, playing Shoop immediately to get that card. And now, at this point, like, obviously, Brewer is a huge play. Aglace is a huge play. Mardrome possibly could be a huge play if the Viper Witcher hits Cantarella, and then at least that's like one more turn where you have definitely taken away a lot of power from Nujwk. And then the Guardian in hand is the weak link because he wants to mulligan it, but he would also love to play it in a round where the points don't matter as much to him because he's just trying to get through the round.
I mean, you kind of have to play Vrahid Neophyte here anyways, right? Like.
Otherwise it doesn't hit anything. So,
yeah.
I mean, are you willing to throw away a point? It's only a point, but it means that you have to play this and then you have to play the Guardian. I mean, it's still so close. The Weather's doing a good job
represents a lot
here.
of points here, though. I think we're gonna see Viper Witcher onto the Vrahid Neophyte, not enabling the Mardrome, playing around the Mardrome. Very solid by Nujwk here.
Nujwk.
And Nujwk still has so much power in hand.
Dream's alive at this point. Freddybabes, is he all in at this point?
We could see a Mardrome onto his own Cantarella just to potentially, because he could utilize Black Blood to search for a Ghoul. And he's already played Azir, so we could see Mardrome to his own Cantarella anyways.
I mean, Brewer Aglace, those two cards can get so much work done for Freddy for exactly what you just said. There's another Viper which you're definitely avoiding hitting Cantarella, like 100%. Freddybabes, Nujwk is not fooled.
Looking at his graveyard. Wait.
Look at those. I mean,
wait. The Black Blood is there, right?
The Black Blood was used early for the Ancient Foglet, so it should.
But did he returned two cards to his deck?
There was the Fog and the Elven Mercenary, I believe.
Yeah, he's going for it. He's going for it.
Yep.
He's going for it.
Mogwai calling it again.
Mardrome onto Cantarella. It's his way. He has to do this. He has to hope. It is a 50% chance to get a Ghoul here, and he does have last say. And Azir has been played. And this game is nuts.
Yeah. This is great. This is. I mean, Brewer into. we know Aglace is going to be like at the top end. At the top end was at 29 points if you eat the 16 with the 4-point Ghoul. So that's amazing. And then Brewer into Hattori carries you from there. I mean, there's a lot of different options you can take there. You can take Barkley for, I believe there's still another Dwarf available, Dwarven Agitator. I believe a Mahakam Guard was not chosen by Yavin, so it's still in the deck. So, I mean, between, like, how many points is Freddy going to get for these two cards?
Oh, denied!
Well, that's going to hurt him a little bit, but I mean, it's not like Aglace just got bad.
Yeah.
Aglace is still insanely good.
But I love that line of play by Nujwk.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you can't
the question
use it
is, can Freddybabes take it with these two cards? I think easily. I think
I do
48.
think so.
Yeah. So the question is like, if he plays one more card, he can force out a gold out of Nujwk. That would be either Kahir or Vilgefort is huge to get rid of here. So will Freddy call this? Will Freddy see this?
I mean, is it right though? Is it correct? If he plays,
I think you have to, at this point, if you're Freddy, you are in big trouble. You have to kind of assume that he has those two cards in hand. Like, you have to take the risk.
But don't you play Kahir first because you want the best target? Well, no, I mean, the Fog makes Yavin
He's going for it. He's going for it. He's going
Freddy's
for it.
pushing. There's a Tori
Oh my God,
into
he's going for
Barkley,
it.
into Agitator, into the Mahakam Guard that was in the deck. What a play. What a play.
my
Glaze
Lord.
represents so many points. Villagerfort's going to pull off top of the deck.
He got rid of Vilgefortz with that.
Huge play. That means the best possible play is 6+ whatever's on top of the deck. Mahakam Mail, low value. I don't know if you can push at this point, but I mean, check the graveyard. I mean,
Okay, wait. It's 18 points. 18 points. I mean,
There's
Glaze
10.
easily does this, but the question is. Okay,
Nope.
you pass. You pass. All right.
the question is, what happens next?
All right. It's top deck city.
Man, Glaze represents so many points.
He got rid of 3 of his goals though. He got rid of Pris, he got rid of Vesemir, he got rid of Vilgefortz.
Dwarven
Swallow
Skirmisher.
potion for him, Dwarven Skirmisher. Ointment is huge. Ointment is really good. But
But
it's
Nujwk has to
risky.
go first, too.
Oh, well, Freddy, no, he's gonna keep it. He's gonna keep it. He's gonna keep, oh my God.
I mean, there's not a lot better, especially considering that the Dwarven Skirmisher is not the best target for a Viper Witcher. I mean,
Oh my
if
God,
it's-
this match.
You can't really avoid the buff, though, can you?
Oh my God, this match. I don't.
Unless you hit
I
the
don't know.
Vikavara Novice?
He has last say. He has last say.
Here
But
comes Kat here.
that ointment is so big for him. Like the fact that he was able to get the ointment. 20-point Kahir, ladies and gentlemen.
Dwarven Mercenary does get buffed because there's nothing it can kill. So, I mean, Viper Witcher is going to get at least 9 points off of that with the ointment.
Viper, which will be 14 points. It's a total of 34 points, which means math. Wait. He
Like
doesn't see it.
Blacklight is the.
He doesn't see it.
I mean, can you? No, that's just bronzes.
I think he has an
Man,
11.
this is going to be so tough.
Oh God. Wait. Okay.
I mean,
math.
this assures that the Viper Witcher is only going to get the 14 points. So he has to
This
play
is 12
first
points.
here.
This is he's 8 points behind, and this ointment represents at the very least 14. I don't know if he can he chain. Can he chain Vikavara Novice at the stage? Like I haven't counted the ointments here. No, he just goes for it directly. He needs
22 points is achievable. It is
achievable. He needs the goal though.
Freddybabes is an overachiever. We already know this. He's already got 2 titles.
Okay, wait. What am I missing? Is there something better? But it has to be Black Blood, right? No, ointment.
Oh, the Agitator into the guard that still is in there.
Oh, he's got him!
Beauty.
Oh my God, I didn't even see that, son. What
I mean,
the hell?
I was thinking about the ointment, but I thought there was no way the ointment could be better than Black Blood with Freddybabes.
Oh, what? What?
Mogwai, you are just a highlight reel, a human highlight reel.
What was that?
That was a match, my friends. That was a match.
That just happened. Okay, dude, I was so fixated on the Black Blood, but I forgot about.
Who can blame you?
It's the fact that the Barclay got the. It's the fact that the Hattori of the Barclay strengthened
It's
the
true.
Agitator.
Oh man,
Yeah,
shoot, that was the 2 points.
That one of the that's crazy.
The fine details in that one.
Here we go,
fine,
folks.
Fine details.
Game number 5. What's the other? I
man.
can't even math anymore, son. Okay, double Gold Weather and Burn a Brand in his opening hand. We're gonna see a dry pass here from Freddy.
We have a best of 5, a best of 6, and a best of 5.
That was nuts.
A nice send-off for Vintage Gwent here. We go the distance in all of these series.
God, Freddy
Man,
just
that was a
always
good
makes me
series.
lose it. Like, I think he's done, and he just pulls his weird. Let's keep it PG.
Because here's the thing, though. If he didn't pull the Agitator in the first place,
Yeah.
he wouldn't have had the Dwarf in
Exactly.
the first, to even pull from the Agitator. So it
exactly.
had to go down like that.
Yeah, exactly. That was.
Goes ahead
That
now.
was
In this
nuts.
case, Freddy now actually has the Demon Pirate on call for the Demon Pirate captain.
Freddy's happy. Freddy
Yeah, 'cause
loves
this is
his
a good
hand.
hand,
He
right?
is. Oh, look
He's-
at that smile.
I mean, you might draw into double Pirate, but that's like whatever.
It's like Killbot's Batman. Freddy's a Joker here. He's very. You can see his
Yeah.
emotions in these games, and you can definitely tell.
Freddy doesn't hide anything. Not quite a poker face, I would say, for Freddy. I would say.
No, I don't think so.
quite.
Oh my God. Okay.
Nujwk just has to be like,
Wow.
he has a good hand, I guess.
I thought he had him. Like I.
and the
thought he
dry
had
pass
him.
on Alchemy is what you want to do anyway.
Yeah. This is so good for Freddy. Like all of a sudden, like it looks so good for him. It's crazy.
I mean, it's It's probably. I mean, you have the double gold weather. You push deeply. I mean, the weather hurts alchemy so bad in the first place. I mean, this seems like might be the best matchup as far as weather is concerned, just because of. Yeah, you blacklist the pirate so you can pull it with the pirate captain. Nope, I guess not. He wants to just. Would you not do that though? I guess not.
Oh man,
His bigger plans.
Just like going back, I maybe it was like a more obvious play. I just was so fixated on the black blood onto the ghoul that I just.
Hey, some people saw it, some people didn't see it. I'm sure. I mean, when we have those cathartic moments, I'm fine. I'm fine sneaking when it sneaks up on me because I wanna stand up and yell and jump up and down and throw a parade. And don't book your parade yet, though. Of course, folks. This is still
Down
game
goes
5
Cantrella for Nujwk here. Freddy does have access to his spy through Scowl right there, and it's gonna come down to how Nujwk opts to go this second round. He obviously, like, the thing is he can't, like, he just needs to find the right pass, like he did in the Skellige Mirror. He needs to do the same thing. He can't pass too early.
So much harder, though. It's so much harder with alchemy to deal with weather.
It's so much harder.
One row weather with alchemy is a pain.
Yep. Just because you're forced to play that way, I think Freddy's just gonna lead off with the weather immediately, because if he passes, Freddy doesn't care. Like, Freddy wants him to pass now. So the earlier you set up the weather, the better. You know he doesn't have a way to answer this. Nujwk has no answer. He can't create anything either. There's nothing he can do to clear this Ragnarok.
And the Ragnarok is the leadoff you want as well, because the Craft Heat Wave is likely to kill Viper Witchers.
Yep, exactly.
So it's just
enable
like
ointments. Exactly. Very good point.
It's perfect at this point, because you know that you got to plan all the rows to get value out of the beer. The beer is going to make sure there's always a good tall target for Ragnarok, and if you just don't have an answer here, Nujwk has one thing, and it's control of the round. But like you said, you don't want to pass. You got dead ointments. You have to play a little bit. And at that point, you're just playing down your cards. Especially considering, I mean, Skjall in hand for Freddy is the one negative.
I think you have to play. Yeah. You
of course. What am I talking about? You Skjall Udalryk and then use Heim for.
You play them in Pirate first.
That's awesome.
And then you follow that up with Skjall.
Heim is just so flexible.
Yeah. And Heim can easily go Joaquim here. Also Jermaine, Guardian. Heim Guardian is super good.
Heim Guardian.
Heim Guardian is.
I mean, it's already going to be a rough round.
Being a caster is hard. Like, there's a lot of words I can't say.
I won't deny that casting has its share of challenges, Mogwai. Saying words is probably the #1 challenge.
Yeah.
If you can't do that, it's really hard to cast. So, I mean, if you ever wanted to know inside the mind of a caster, Mogwai, I'm waiting for your memoir.
Working on it.
There's
halfway
that
there.
ornamental sword, which is just a world of possibilities. I am happy that we've seen so many diverse decks. That's really
sure.
Because I think we've seen. I mean, from Advokov's side, it looked like Consume was very heavily targeted. Game King came from the other side. He was targeting. Was it Alchemy that he was? He said soft
targeting Alchemy.
Soft targeting
we saw
Alchemy.
Catspur's dank, mulligan list, and Freddybabes always delivers. Lambert, double gold weather, Skellige, like.
You could make a case that Freddybabes was also targeting Alchemy just because weather hurts Alchemy so much.
I think he's targeting Alchemy. I think that's what he's doing. I think it's very clear. And,
it's so interesting when you look at Game King Adzakov at the beginning of day 2. I mean, Game King is running Consume, and Adzakov has a lot of answers for it. But as far as Freddybabes, like whoever gets through on the other side, assuming Freddybabes wins this, and again, I'm not jumping to conclusions. I'm just, as far as how favorable this looks, not jumping to conclusions, but it's depending on how it shakes out. Either Nujwk or Freddybabes, and then of course Radu Andrade and Cams, which is coming up right after this game. We're going to get right into that final quarterfinals of the day. That story has yet to be told, but that can go many, many different ways, as Game King already has a trial ahead of him. Nujwk also currently in the middle of trial by fire as the Ragnarok continues to burn down the board. Nujwk again looking for that pass.
He's on the clock here. He's entering dangerous territory. Just a couple of turns more, and there's no turning back for him. He will go down one card. And that can prove to be quite devastating, especially facing the likes of Skellige. Even though Freddybabes obviously doesn't have the most powerful short round, he can just make it very difficult for him and preserve some very powerful cards like Heim. Heim can be super devastating round 3 to counter Vilgefortz in a way, and
for the Guardian. Yeah.
Like he's got a lot going for him.
Well, he's going
Also,
out.
Azir. He could Azir and return, Uldrich to his deck. It's just there's a lot of things you can do.
Vico into
Makameo.
Another
He needs
round
to
for the
start thinning
witches?
these alchemy cards.
yeah.
He's already, he's in the fire. He's just gonna take all this damage, so he may as well thin and tempo as efficiently as he can.
I think Freddy's just going for biggest plays possible at this point. He's just gotta. He's gonna make those 6 points a turn
He needs to
work
close
for
the
him.
gap.
I mean, even on a pass, Freddy's got 12 points like automatically in his pocket just from weather ticking. So Croc, and what is Croc on at this point for Freddy? Whaler. Oh no, the Dim Moon Pirate. Croc actually, well, that's actually not bad. Brings out a 14-point Dim Moon Pirate and as well thins 2 cards from the deck with Croc. He also could. Oh no, he played the Pirate from hand, did he not? He did play the Pirate from hand earlier, unless he mulliganed it and I missed it.
Covering over the Mandrake right there. He may opt to go for it right now.
Yeah, I mean, bring Cantarella right back up again, or potentially the Whaler.
That's
But
power.
yeah, I mean,
17
going for the
points.
tempo in this round.
Getting
There it
ahead.
is.
He did it.
How now, Freddybabes? How does Freddybabes fall behind from here? Where could things go wrong?
I don't think that's possible. I actually think he's like out of the woods in that sense because
Force the Viper way. This is the kind of play that Freddybabes was trying to get
3 points
Nujwk to
ahead.
do in the previous round when he was holding on to Mardrome. And Cantarella was on the board, and Nujwk did play into it this time. Not like he had a lot of options. I mean, if you hit the Whaler, you're enabling a Corsair, and Skjal is just a bad Viper Witcher.
oh, this is not the play. I think Nujwk is definitely giving up on having one card, having the same amount of cards as his opponent, but he is still in control.
Boom, boom, boom.
The dry pass did give Nujwk control, so I think Nujwk is just going to try to make the round as short as possible, even though he's 1 card down, and he's going to try to basically like overpower Freddy, despite being 1 card down, which is possible. It's most definitely possible. Alchemy is known for being able to overpower your opponent even when you are at a disadvantage in regards to the amount of cards you have. Its late game is that strong.
I'm just silent for a moment as I'm just thinking of ways that the Cantarella can be used for points later that would be available to Freddy. I'm just thinking about the Ornamental Sword. I'm not quite sure.
You see that? You see that? He's setting up a ghoul. He wants to set up the Black Blood. Goes for the Mandrake onto the Uldrich.
Yeah, that's something Nujwk can definitely do with the 19-point spy. I'm not sure if Freddy has the same reach later. I mean, obviously it was a huge tempo play because of the Viper Witcher, so that was the number
gonna go for Croc.
one thing on his mind here.
I would go for the Warship. I think at this point you just want to drop your worst cards. You want to preserve that Croc tempo.
Yeah.
You want to have as like you need your most powerful cards here. This is.
I mean,
very
Nujwk playing Black Blood into Udalric is a massive play. Village of Forts can be also huge.
But you want to preserve those plays for later.
Oh, no, for sure. Sorry, I'm talking about round 3 because we're talking about what Black Blood represents in round 3 and how Nujwk has control of this game and just how massive that play is going to be. I'm just trying to wonder how he's going to pair those two things or what he's going to pair with that.
Time will have 100% accuracy in regards to what opposing silver card he can create, as Nujwk is not running Joachim, so we see Azir, the Guardian, and Jermaine as his potential target. So whatever it is Freddy is going to opt to go with Heim, he'll 100% be able to get it. Hovering over Azir, what does he opt to do with Azir here? He wants to disrupt his draws. And deny a potential Corsair here.
Well, Croc pulls the pirate, so I mean it's not the worst thing in the world.
It does. It weakens
19
his
points.
Croc somewhat.
19-point Croc doesn't sound. I mean
It'd be 17, 18, right?
It buffs it by 3.
No, by 2.
By 2? By 2.
Unless.
No, it is by 2.
18. I mean, yeah, 18-point Croc is great. Okay, Bearmaster.
Yeah, I'm definitely nickel and diming if you're talking about a point. But for accuracy's sake,
15-point Ornamental Sword. That's not bad at all.
it's a great res for Sigdrifa later on.
Nujwk is still pushing.
Every Skellige deck could use a little Bearmaster.
Nujwk needs this round to be as short as possible. That way he takes power from Drought here. Nujwk has a very threatening late game here.
Yeah, he's putting Freddy. Now, I don't know if you can put Freddy on having Burna and Crappy Heatwave in hand, but definitely Freddy needs to mulligan away Crappy Heatwave as this gets lower. Burna is still at least, Burna can get you 14 to 18 points. Can you play
Crappy Heatwave here though? You could actually just play it here.
It's true. I mean, he does have the lead. He doesn't lose anything here. You throw it away. The stuff you keep. I mean, why worry about? I mean,
I think you played here.
Well, your calls today have been, credit where credit's due. But I mean, it makes a lot of sense here, just because how Nujwk potentially bricked, well, not bricked, but hurt the draws for Freddy by putting that stuff back in the deck. He can't just hope that he can mulligan into something great. Also, his hand is great. He'd love Restore, just to make this that much better. He also could play Croc to make sure that he's not drawing the Demon Pirate. But I mean, that's just what's gonna be pulled anyway, no matter what.
This is intense.
Although
this is
Restore
so
onto the
intense.
Pirate Captain also plays the Pirate as well for a tidy 19-pointer. If he draws the Restore, that is.
Freddy has first say, so he can Heim. He can Heim and return the Uldrick.
Jermaine.
Yes. What were we talking about? He has Heim into his ear. He can just return Uldrick to his deck, deny the Black Blood play.
Of course.
And also make his Vilgefort potentially very risky. Oh.
Jermaine buffering a little bit of points here with the cows on top of that.
This is so intense, man. God damn it.
I mean, the Asir play. I mean, who doesn't want a 19-point spy in their deck that doesn't drop them a card?
Just get that Pirate Captain out of there. Good play there by Freddy. Oh boy, this is gonna be close. Even though Freddy is one card over Nujwk,
yeah,
we know how powerful Alchemy is in a short round 3, especially if he draws into that Kahir.
That burn is coming down. Maybe like,
Nujwk needs Kahir really bad here.
There's nothing he can do to stop Heim though. First of all, he's not gonna get that card back at this point, and Freddy gets to act first, which is huge. I mean, it's always the benefit of open passing on blue coin when you're trying to mess with your opponent's strategy, especially graveyard-wise. You pass early, so if you're running Vico Vars, you can steal that Great Sword, you can steal that whatever you need. So in this situation, Heim is just a devastating card to have, and I don't think Freddy's going to have any need to spend it because Burna, honestly,
Vilgefort.
Burna is pretty active here. Is Nujwk trying to is he trying to push as hard as he can here? I mean, it's not like
maybe.
All those cows.
Chris? Okay.
I mean, what does he want to see from Freddy? What is he so threatened by? Just the length of the round, probably. Another ointment.
We follow
Gonna get that bear
that puts
there?
him ahead. Freddy can't sleep here. Well, what does Freddy have? Does he have a warship in his graveyard?
I believe he's played 2, one from the pirate.
Maybe not. Let's see.
We'll take a peek. Possibly.
I think you can drop Burna here anyways. Yeah.
I mean, the row is pretty lined up here, and if you think that it looks like Nujwk is just pushing, so I mean, Burna is just making this. It just makes it impossible.
Yeah, but Burna solidifies his position here and makes sure that he keeps that card. Yeah, he has. Yep. So do it
Freddy
my
ended up
way.
playing all 3 of those golds in this round. I mean, this was the threatening thing that Freddy was always kind of creating this possibility. Like, you want to go for a long round? Okay, I have a lot of ways to hurt you. You want to go for a short round? Same thing.
Oh, Vilgefort's going down.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh.
Nujwk probably thinks that he has
in.
one chance here, and it's to 2-0 for. I mean, but it's not going to stop unless he has to bleed Heim. It's like the only thing, right?
Not what he needed, folks.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. Pretty rough
I think
there.
you have to say. Well, no,
Ooh, well.
Guardian. You Guardian here.
Yeah.
You Guardian, 100%. You Guardian. Wait, but this prevents the.
That's what I'm
this
saying.
makes it so. Oh my God.
This makes it so Black Blood in
not
the
good for
3rd
my
round.
heart.
Yeah, I mean, you saw it for sure.
Uh-oh. He's lost his answer.
I mean, drawing into a Guardian also sucks. Let's not.
Yeah. I mean,
Let's
for sure.
not say that this is a bad play by any means. But
if he mulligans the Guardian away and draws
I-
it to here, it's gonna be crazy.
the way Freddy's evaluating his plays right here, I'm pretty sure he thought about that.
Here we go.
Guardian on the draw. Viper Witcher picked up. Whaler picked up. Sigdrifa does have the Bearmaster, 13-point Pirate. Not bad plays.
The Bearmaster res is the best here.
Yep.
Oh, this is intense.
Modern Freya, watching us and keeping us since 2016.
Oh man, I don't know.
Perfect target for the Viper Witcher.
Oh boy.
Wow,
Oh,
man,
boy.
that black blood. is a 20-pointer. But I mean, Freddy with the card, the Corsair pulling a warship is. I mean, these are relatively.
That's not enough, right?
Here.
Oh my God!
I mean,
he's hoping he doesn't have Kahir, and he sees it's not Kahir. Even if he does get Ghoul.
Did he get it?
Oh,
he didn't get it! Oh, Black Blood betraying Nujwk in the end. We didn't even see it, but I don't think we have to.
GG! What a series!
God,
that
series was so good, you guys.
that was so intense.
I am guilty of watching that game too much as a viewer. I think when we go back,
the pinky shake.
when we go back to the room to watch.